Yes, here we go.
The car's sitting on the grid, the lights are on, and we're away in Qatar. Lance takes the lead from the grid. Dede coming through in second, all in grid order. Eddie slipping back. And Dede looks like he's got a run at Lance going into turn 4. Maybe going to try for a dive in turn 5. No, they're all staying single file for now. Up through the hairpins, down through the sweepers, and now into this fantastic free apex corner. Dede right on the back of Lance, but can't seem to get past at the moment, but he has plenty of laps left to do it, 45 of them, it would seem. And oh, Lance goes into the sand, and so does Dede, and Silse is going to pass Lance. Silse is up to second, Fun 1-2 at the end of lap 1. Lance from Silse, from Dede, from Mike, from Pablinho, from Matic. Matic and Etmil have got past Eddie. Eddie dropped way back there on lap 1. I'm sure we'll see a replay of that in just a bit. And here is Dede attacking Silse.
Yeah, Dede really nervous right now, seeming by his actions, and trying really desperately to pass for the second place right now, as he seems to have lost it before. He's really pushing now.
Yeah, as he has to get away from Pablinho, who has made a good start up to 5th position, from 7th on the grid, and there is Mike Knight making a lunge at Dede, decided it was unfair, and now Pablinho is all the way over the back of Dede, so Pablinho's bad qualifying is already negated as Pablinho dives up the inside, and Pablinho takes the position away from Dede into the next corner. They battle side by side still. Pablinho and Dede both touching the dirt. And Dede's going to try for the inside into the free apex corner, but doesn't quite work. Great battling so far in just these first 2 laps of the race between Dede and Pablinho. Here's then a replay of the start. In slow motion, you can see nobody really got away bad. Looks like Mike actually got quite a good start, but the run to turn 1 is just too short in order to get any bigger. Mr. Pom diving up the inside of Eddie there. Great dive on the brakes from Mr. Pom.
Yeah, aggressive as ever.
Here is the start on board of Shy Guy. Oh, Shy Guy stalled. Shy Guy stalled on the grid. Shy Guy didn't got moving, and Exil slams into the back of him. So that's really disappointing for both Shy Guy and Exil, who's an innocent bystander in that. Here is Eddie's start then. Eddie gets away okay, but you can see there's Mr. Pom diving up the inside, and oh, there's where Eddie went wide and lost positions to Matic and
a horrendous start for Eddie. I mean,
yeah, he's also really back of the championship, and there he is going back past Etmil, obviously a lap later, and Mr. Pom seems to have also got past Etmil there in the confusion. Ooh, touching Mr. Pom's rear. Now Etmil goes back up the inside and makes the position back. Great battling here.
Yes, by no means is this the start that Eddie was hoping for, I suppose. Anything but this for him.
Battling behind Mr. Pom, Etmil and Matic is not what he needs if he wants to win this race, which really he needs to do to keep is really alive. Meanwhile, back out front, Lance sets the fastest lap. We are on lap 4, 3 laps completed. It's still a fun 1-2. Lance from Silse, from Pablinho, from Dede, and Mike Knight there. And there's Eddie, you can see in the background, battling with Etmil.
Yeah, and Lance has already built up a gap of 1 second between second race driver Silse then, yes.
Yeah, fun cars running well again at this Qatar circuit. But this is where the battle really is. This is the championship, Pablinho versus Dede. Of course, with the drop system, it's a lot closer this year than it would have been, because Pablinho missed the first race, but that doesn't matter, because of the drop system, your worst 2 results are discounted, and so his 0 points from the first race are discounted. Now here is Dede just trying to make some inroads into Pablinho's small gap, not very big, pushing hard right on the edge of the circuit. You can see the green AstroTurf, and there's Matic running wide at replay, and all 3 cars going to go past him. Mr. Pom very late onto the brakes into turn 1, and Matic's up the inside. But meanwhile, concentrating on the battle up front, here's Etmil versus Eddie, which we saw in the background. They're swapping sides, swapping positions. Ooh, Matic gets into the back of Eddie, but Eddie manages to control it. Eddie tried down the inside of Etmil. Etmil got very deep into the corner there, and Eddie got past. So Etmil there, too late on the brakes, missed the apex, and Eddie got past. Oh, looks like Etmil might. No, Eddie got a bad run out of turn 15, but Etmil could not capitalise. Here's Kilkariki back further down in the pack, and Exil battling hard into turn 1. John 5 there in the background also. Ooh, Exil pushing that car sideways. And here is Eddie, down in 6th position.
Yes, and trying to run away from Admiral then.
And doing well with the fastest lap. That's a good way to run away from someone.
Yes, indeed.
If nobody else on the circuit is as fast as you.
Yes, and here is Daddy then, trying to catch up to Pablino then, but he has to be wary of Mike Knight, really has to be wary of Mike Knight, trying to avoid making any mistakes as we saw in the opening laps.
Yeah, they all seem to be quite static at the moment, just really close, but not quite being able to get into the overtaking zone right up behind the car. On to lap 7, 6 laps completed, and Silsir has cut the gap a little bit. It's inside a second now. But look at these top 5 cars, all within 3-4 seconds really. In fact, down to 12th place is only 12 seconds back, so really close at the moment. Of course, it's a really short circuit, and for that reason we're having the most laps of any race so far this year, 46 laps in this Grand Prix. And of course, something to be noticed is at the moment the underdogs are running 1, 2 and 3. What a result that would be if that stayed at the end.
Ah, indeed.
But is Pablino perhaps going to have a try on his fun teammate? He dives up the inside. Ooh! Silsir went sideways there. Will Silsir be too happy about that one? Really, Pablino should learn him back through. That was a bit unfair, but now Silsir has Dede to worry about. What do you make of that move?
I reckon that was just a bit too rough.
Yeah, he hit him straight in the side, that was the problem. And you see Dede trying to look to the inside of Silsir on the main straight, but not quite making his way past.
I have to say that not only did he take the position, but he also killed the rhythm that Silsir might have had before, so
yeah, exactly.
That's important too.
He sent him straight sliding, and now Mike Knight's going to dive up the inside of Dede. Can Dede defend? Dede's got the inside back for the pre-apex corner, and they're still side by side, but Dede manages to get the outside for turn 15, and Pablino doing the good thing. Pablino lets him back by. He knew it was wrong. He probably wanted to wait for him to get clear of Dede before giving him the position back. Meanwhile, he's going to go straight back up the inside into turn 4, and Pablino takes it back again. So that's more like it. That was a fairer move there. And now Dede is on the back of Silsir. And look at this.
Eddie has caught up to the script.
And Dede dives up the inside of Silsir. Dede makes the pass. Great pass. He completely...
oh my god. This is 5 drivers. Really close.
Yeah, it's really...
spectacular.
Really good battling at the moment. But did you see Dede's pass? There was no space, but Dede used it anyway. And Mike Knight now battling with Silsir. Eddie trying to dive up the inside of Mike Knight. Doesn't work out for him. Here's a replay then of what happened with Pablino and Silsir. Straight into the side. Yeah. And just a few laps later, Pablino lets him by as he really should have. And
finally realising his mistake.
And as you can see, well, I don't think it was that. I think it was more that he didn't want to let Dede by in the process. Of course, they're in a big championship battle. And here is this pass then. Dede versus Silsir. This is a great pass. Once again, Dede proves his fantastic overtaking skills. Much later on the brakes. Looks like there's no space. Almost 3/4 of a car width, but Dede makes his whole car fit there and passes Silsir. Great pass. And Pablino's wide. Pablino goes wide.
Oh dear.
And loses the position to Dede. So the championship battle swings again back into Dede's favour. 4 cars within surely half a second. Pablino, Silsir, Mike Knight, Eddie. All really close, all battling hard, diving on the brakes, and Mike Knight is going to get to the inside of Silsir. Will Mike Knight be better under braking into turn 1? Good solid pass from Mike, and now Eddie is faster than Silsir. Eddie to the outside of turn 4, swaps back to the inside into turn 6, now up the hill into turn 7, still side by side through 8 and 9, and Eddie trying for the outside, and they're still side by side.
This is incredible, just
a great circuit.
Just wonderful.
Oh, and Dede has a problem! Dede's widened into the wall at the final corner.
I know!
He's driving off now, it's not permanent. Eddie, meanwhile, in the pits, and Mike Knight, meanwhile, battling with Pablino. Mike Knight up to 2nd place. Mike Knight is running brilliantly. Up to
yes, indeed.
But meanwhile, it must be noted, while all this great battling has been happening, guess who's been pulling away? And Pavlinho dives back up the inside, and Pavlinho takes back second place. As all this battling has been happening though, Lons has built a gap, and it's a big one, it would seem. The gap back to Pavlinho then is 3.9 seconds at the end of lap 14. So Lons doing what he has to do to win this race. I doubt there'll be any team orders, because as we know, Pavlinho will be leaving the fun team, it would seem, to make his own F team at the end of this year. So I doubt there'll be any team orders to help. Oh, and Shy Guy's lagging off there, and he's in a very dangerous position. Very dangerous indeed. Here comes Lance! Lance crashes into Shy Guy! Well, that 4-second lead, that'll have gone now, as Pavlinho got the track.
Fucking idiot! What a fucking idiot!
Lance, as you would expect, incredibly cross with Shy Guy. Not really his fault, Shy Guy disconnecting in the middle of the track, a very bad place. After he had that stall on the grid as well. Terrible race for Shy Guy, and he's just made Lance's job just that little bit harder to win this race. Of course, we don't really know about pit stop strategy yet. Maybe Lance really needs to build a gap because he's on more stops than everybody else. That's always a possibility. As we continue to watch the battle between Silsir and Mike, and now Lance will come into the pits. Just as he runs out of fuel, actually, Pavlinho takes the lead then. From Mike, really close. Silsir also really close. And Lance comes out, a quick pit stop, but Eddie gets out in front. Eddie sets the fastest lap. So Eddie is actually out in front of Lance. And Eddie pitted earlier, remember, when we were watching Dede, who is now in the pits and lost a lot of ground from that mistake, down in 9th position. So Eddie is actually really the net leader of this race. Now, will Eddie be on a different strategy, perhaps? Maybe he had a bit less fuel than the top guys. And Pavlinho will now pit from the lead. And Silsir and Mike all coming into the pits at the same time. And Etmil takes the lead now. How fast will this pit stop be? 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and that's a 6-second flat pit stop as Eddie sets another fastest lap. Will Eddie be on a 3-stop strategy, which we thought some guys might take? Perhaps Lance is on a 2-stopper. Perhaps that's how Eddie got out of the pits in front of him. But Lance, of course, would have lost a lot of lead when he crashed into Shy Guy.
Yeah, we have to see.
And that could have cost him the lead.
That wasn't the best year for him. Now he has a lot of climbing back to do and trying to take positions. And anyway, here's Dede versus Mr. Palm.
Yeah, Dede is the one that really has to make up positions. Lance is in second position, he only has to make up 1. But Dede, he has to make up 8 positions if he wants to win this race. And Dede coming off the final corner, he's got a good run into turn 1. Mr. Palm not really contesting that hard on the brakes. They're staying side by side, but Dede makes it stick. And Mr. Palm still on the back of him into turn 4, but gives him space. Realises that Dede has the new tyres on him a lot faster. And here is Eddie then in second position, only behind Etmil, who is leading, about to make a pit stop surely.